Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, you are welcome. My name is Anita Phone, and if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified each and every time I upload a new tutorial to my channel. If you're a old member, you are welcome back. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you on how to draft this Bossier deep neckline. So if you want to know how I'll be going about it, keep on watching. First thing I did was to go ahead and draw a straight line, which is going to be my shoulder line. I'll take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Mine is 14. 14 divided by 2 is going to give me 7. I'm going to slant it down by 1 inch. Then I'll move now to my armhole deep. This 7 inch I use from my shoulder. I'm going to repeat it up here, mark that up, and I'm going to go ahead to connect it up like so. After doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is I'll just extend this point up. Then I'll go ahead now to connect this point up like this. When I'm done doing so, I'll go ahead now to measure up whatever I have here and divide it by 2, which is 7.5 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.075. And I'll go in by ½ inch and mark. Then I'll come here. What I'll do is to take round my bust and divide that by 4. Round my bust is 34. 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I'll go ahead, mark that up, and I'll connect it up like this. After connecting that up, what I'm going to do is to go ahead, measure from my shoulder to my bust point, which is 10 inch. From my shoulder to my under bust, which is 13.5 inch. From my shoulder to the length of this top, I'll go with 18 inch. Then I'll be adding ½ inch for joining it up to the lining. Then I'll go ahead now to connect those points up with a straight line like this. After doing so, I'll go ahead to take my nipple to nipple, which is 8 inch. 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I'll mark that up and connect it up. After connecting, I'll go ahead now to mark the neck deep and the neck width of 3 by 3 inch. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it up like so. Now I'm going to measure whatever I have here from my shoulder, and I'll divide that by 2, which is 4. 4 divided by 2 is going to give me 2. I'm going to go ahead now to connect it up like this. After doing so, I'll go ahead to create my dart. If you're working with a bust size of below 34, you use your dart of 1.5 inch. If you're working with a bust size of above 34, use a dart of 2 inch. If you're working with a plus size, use your dart of 2.5 inch. So I'm be placing 1 inch at this side, and I'm going to place ½ inch at this other side. After doing so, I'm going to go ahead now to connect those points up. See? Then I'm going to come to my bust point line. I will go down by 1 inch. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect it up like this. I'll repeat the same thing to the other side. After doing so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here at this top part. I'm going to go up by 1.5 inch. You can choose to go up to 2 inch. Connect that up. Then I'll go out by ½ inch here, and then on this other side I'm going to go out by 3/4 inch. I'm going to connect those points up. Once I'm done doing so, I'll just go ahead and extend them up like that, like you can see me doing. Now I'm going to go ahead now. I'll connect this point all the way to the armhole like this. Look at the way I'm going to be placing my curve, like so. Next thing I'm going to do is just to turn it up like this. I'll bring it to the armhole. You see what I've just done there? After doing so, what I'm going to do is to come at this center. I'm going to go out by 0.25. Then you choose where you want the deep neckline to end from. You can just go ahead and connect it all the way to the length. Depends on what you're creating. I'll go ahead now. I'll connect it up like this all the way to where you want it to end. That's optional. Look at how I'm taking my time placing up the curve, making sure the things comes out well. All right. See what I've just done there? You can choose, like I said, you can choose the break point where you want it to end, or you just go ahead and take it all the way to the waist. Look at what I just did there. Then now I'm going to go ahead now to blend that up because I don't want it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting in my measurement. I'll go ahead, take round my bust, which is 34. 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I'll replace back the dark allowance I took. I'll come to my under bust and I'm going to do the same thing. Round my under bust is 30. 30 divided by 4 is going to give me 7.5. I will mark that up. Then I'll go ahead now to add the dart allowance. Then I'll be adding up the sewing allowance. I'll come to the waist. I'll take round my waist, which is 28. 28 divided by 4 is going to give me 7. I'll replace by the dart allowance and I'm going to be adding all my sewing allowance. After doing so, I'll go ahead to connect that up like this. Next thing I'm going to do is to come down here by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it all the way to the bust point line, like so. I will go ahead to measure up whatever I have here and I'm going to divide that by 2. Then I'll mark the midpoint of it. I'll do the same thing to my under bust, measure up whatever I have there and divide that by 2. I'll also mark the midpoint of it. I'll do the same thing to my waist. Measure up whatever you have and divide that by 2. Mark the midpoint. I will going to be connecting those points up together like this. After doing so, I will move this side and we're going to go ahead and draft up the back. I've just drawn a straight line, then I'm adding up my 1 inch for the zipper allowance. After doing so, I'm just going to go ahead and extend this line. I will draft up the easiest basic part first. Then if I want to do anything that is different, I'm going to stop and then I'll indicate it. For the neck depth, I will be making it a V shape. I'm going to go down by 5 inch. For the neck width is 3 inch like we did for the front. Look at what I just did there. Then I'm going to connect my shoulder slant as well. After doing so, I'll measure up whatever I will have and divide that by 2 like we did for the front, the armhole line, and divide that by 2. Whatever you have, mark the midpoint. I'll go ahead to put 1/4 of my measurement like I did for the front, round the bust and divide that by 4, round the under bust divided by 4, round the waist divided by 4 while adding my dart allowance and my sewing allowance. Once I'm done doing so, I'll just go ahead to connect that up. Then I will take the nipple to nipple, divide that by 2, which is 8. 8 divided by 2 is going to give me 4. I'm going to mark that up, connect it up with a straight line like so. I'll be creating up my dart of 1/2 inch both sides. I'll go ahead, connect it all the way to the chest line. I will connect that up. Then you're going to choose if you want the back to have a yoke, or you just want to leave it up like that. If you want to add lace at the top part, you can go ahead and create up something like this for the back, or you just leave it up like this. Okay, I'm going to measure up whatever I have here, which is 13 divided by 2 is going to give me 6.5. I'm going to mark the center of it, then I'll go in by 1/2 inch, connect that up like this. I'm going to do the same thing here like so. And once I'm done connecting that up, I'll go ahead now to cut it up. Before I go ahead to cut it, I'll label it up, the back and the front, so that you should know which one goes to the other piece. Here is the front, and I'm going to go ahead to cut that up. Just follow up how I'm cutting it. I also went ahead to number them up. When I'm done opening up my dart, what I'm going to do is just to go ahead, take my paper tape. I'm going to go ahead and tape that up, or you can pin it up. Use your office pin, anything you have, and just hold that up like this. Then I'll continue cutting them up. And take note that we're going to be using the yoke of this top, so you don't need to throw that away. I'll go ahead now to join the yoke of the front here, because we want to just have one piece, not two pieces. Next thing I'll do is to go ahead now. If you want to make it a strapless tube top, you just go ahead and measure up whatever you have there. Look at what I'm doing. I'm just taking the same length from my the side center front, mark and connect that up. You're going to go ahead now just to, you can separate up the back like this into two pieces, or you go ahead and leave it into one piece. So we've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you find it helpful. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment and share. I hope to see you on my next DIY. Thank you so much for watching.